Hey everyone, it's Miss O'Donnell. So today we're just going to do a review of all the circle things we've learned so far, so mainly central and inscribed angles. First thing we're going to talk about, this is what we did on Monday. We talked about lines and arcs inside a circle. So what I want you to do is pause the video, try to find an example on this picture for each of the lines. All right, so hopefully you remember a radius is a line segment that goes from the center of the circle out to the outside of the circle. So an example of that would be DH. You also could have said DF or DJ, as long as it's going from the center out to a point on the circle. Remember, it's like halfway across. A chord is a segment, so it also has two endpoints, but they are both on the circle. So a good example of that would be KE. So KE is a segment, both of the endpoints are on the circle. A diameter is a chord that goes through the center. So JF is also a chord, but you'll notice JF goes through point D, which is the center. So JF is a diameter. Then we talked about two lines. Remember, lines have two arrows on the ends. So a secant intersects the circle at 2 points. So that would be LG. LG is a line that's intersecting at point L and point G. And a tangent is a line that intersects just one time. So that would be HI. It's intersecting the circle at point H. And hopefully you remember that HI and DH are perpendicular. They create a right angle. Then we talked about arcs. So a minor arc, minor means small, so it's a arc that's less than half the circle. We name it with 2 letters. A major arc is a big arc, so we name it with 3 letters. It's going to be more than half the circle. So that's going to be really important when I'm asking you to solve for different arcs, that you know which one I'm talking about. If it's 2 letters, it's a minor arc. If it's 3 letters, it's a major arc. Then we talked about central angles. So central angles are located at the center, right? Central angle, center. They are formed by 2 radii. So here we have a central angle formed by BA and CA. Both of them are radiuses. The formula is that the angle is equal to the arc. So angle A is 50, arc BC is 50. Some of the big takeaways from that. So there were 3 hints I gave you to solve for all the missing angles and arcs. Those were to use diameters. Remember, angles that make a diameter are going to add up to 180. You can use vertical angles, which are congruent, and the fact that circles add up to 360 degrees. So pause the video. Try to solve for all of the missing arcs and angles on this circle. So that would be arc FB, arc ED, and arc DC. All right, so hopefully you got these numbers. What I would have done is I would have first solved for this arc DC. I would have used my diameter DB, which means these 2 angles add up to 180. So 180 minus 140 is 40 degrees. You also could have done it with diameter FC and solved for this angle. These 2 are vertical angles, so they have to be equal, 40 degrees, 40 degrees. So that leaves us with this arc ED. I would have used either that the whole circle adds up to 360, so 50 plus 40 plus 140 plus 40 is 270. 360 minus 270 is 90. Or you could have just used a diameter. So you could have used this FC as a diameter, added up 50 and 40, which we already had, which is 90. Subtract that from 180, you get 90. So you want to use those 3 tips when we're using central angles. You're going to fill it in like a puzzle using diameters, vertical angles, and circles add up to 360. If you need more help on that, send me an email. I can send you another video, or I can help you work through some problems. Then we learned inscribed angles. So inscribed angles were formed by 2 chords that share an endpoint. So here we have chord CD and chord BD, both connected at point D. And inscribed angles are going to be half of the arc. So if the angle is 50, the arc is 100. Remember, if you're given the angle, you want to multiply it by 2 to get the arc. If you're given the arc, you're going to divide by 2 to get the angle. The big takeaways from inscribed angles was that you're going to see a lot of triangles. And you have to remember that triangles add up to 180. So all the 3 angles, so angle C, angle A, and angle B, have to add up to 180. And you have to be really conscious about which angles make up which arcs. So pause the video, take a second, try to fill in the missing angles and arcs. So try to solve for angle A, angle B, arc CB, and arc BA. All right, so you should have gotten these numbers. Here's the order I did it in. You could have done it a little bit differently. I first saw that I have angle C right here. Angle C is an inscribed angle. Right, here's my inscribed angle. It creates arc AB. Inscribed angles are half, so I did 35 times 2, and I got 70 degrees. Then I was also given this arc, CA. CA is created by angle B, which is an inscribed angle. So I went from 150, I wanted to solve for the angle, so I divided by 2. 150 divided by 2 is 75. So I've got this arc, 70, I've got this angle. And I went ahead and saw that I had 2 angles inside my triangle. So I had 35 and 75. I added those together, I got 110. I subtracted it from 180 because I know that triangles add up to 180. So I got that angle A is 70. Then I used angle A as an inscribed angle to solve for the arc. Angle A creates arc CB. So I multiply by 2 to get 140. You could have done it in a different order, as long as you saw that the angles inside the triangle add up to 180, the arcs around the circle add up to 360, and all of the inscribed angles are half of the arc they create. So 35 is half of 70, 75 is half of 150, 70 is half of 140. So these angle A goes with arc CB, angle C goes with arc AB, and angle B goes with arc CA. So again, if you have any questions on that, send me an email. I can send you some more videos. I can work through problems with you. So here's what today and tomorrow is going to look like. If you're not in my class, it might look a little differently, but for Miss O'Donnell's classes today, I posted a question on Google Classroom. I need you to go ahead and answer that. That's for your attendance for today. Then I want you to practice on quizzes. So I also added a link for a quizzes. I want you to keep practicing until you get at least 75%. You can practice more if you want to. Make sure you're putting your real name. If you don't put your real name, I do not know that it's you, and I can't give you credit for today if I don't know who it is. Even if you think that I remember what your nicknames are, put your real name. Tomorrow I'm going to give you an assessment, so that's why we're practicing today. Your assessment's going to cover the lines and arcs, central angles, and inscribed angles. It is going to go into the gradebook based on correctness. So far, I've mostly been grading on the fact that you're doing it. So I really appreciate you guys logging in and doing your work each day. Tomorrow, it is going to count for a grade based on how well you do. So today, definitely use today to practice as much as you can. Send me an email. Join my office hours. I have office hours from 12 to 1 today. Come in, you can ask me questions. I can help you with quizzes questions. You can show me your screen. I can help work you through problems. Anything you need help with. All right, so hopefully we're feeling pretty good. We've learned 2 angles. We've got 3 more coming next week. Tomorrow's your assessment. I can't wait to see how well everybody's going to do. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day.